Hello and welcome to today's Connect University. My name is Art and I'm very excited to be presenting one of our awesome new partners, Mowgli SMS. Rob is here with Mowgli and is going to share with you how their service can really help nonprofits and other organizations in their marketing and outreach efforts. Rob, do you want to go ahead and get started?
All right, I know we have only about 20 minutes here, so I'm going to kind of fly through the slides because I'm sure that what you all want to see is an actual demo. And I'm hoping for this to be an interactive demo. So if you would, when we get to the right point, and I'll tell you when that is, if you can help me out and pull out your phones and actually engage with Mowgli, then that would be really helpful for me. And if you're not interested in that, that's okay too. I'm going to screen share and show you exactly what it looks like. So thank you for taking some time this morning. Morning for me, maybe start of the afternoon for some of you, but I really appreciate your time and having some interest in Mowgli and in SMS. So this is our leadership team. I'm over there on the left, and Serena, who's our project manager and implementation specialist, in the middle, and our fearless founder and CEO, Steven Simich. He's been in the Salesforce and the nonprofit game for a really long time, and he's an amazing leader for this company. So you're here today because you're interested in SMS in general. So probably some of these things you've already heard of, and some of these stats you've already heard, but 97% of Americans are using their texting app on their phone every single day. And around the world, about 1 billion messages are exchanged every hour, which, if you extrapolate that, is 9 trillion with a T text messages being sent around the world a year. So yes, it's kind of an older technology, but especially here in the States, it's really getting to be more of a necessity. People are using it more and more and finding so many different use cases that I'd love to show you. So of those 9 trillion that are being sent around the world, 98% of them are being opened and 45% of them are being responded to. Now, email is definitely not going anywhere, and it's a really important tool. So by no means am I suggesting that you should get rid of any email programs that you're using, but comparing the 98% open rate to a typical 20% or so open rate with email, and maybe a 3 to 10% response rate on a really good day, text messaging just has a much better engagement rate. And one of the most interesting stats I think here is that text is the most used form of communication for American adults under 50. So everyone is talking about millennials, which is of course really important, but really under 50 as a whole are still using text message as the most common use of or form of communication. So why did we build Mowgli? So we built Mowgli in 2012, and it was originally to help Kenyan farmers protect their crops from disease, primarily corn crops. And at that time, all we could do was blast a one-way message. And we were working with a nonprofit that was trying to help these farmers that really don't have much in the way of housing or infrastructure, and they're very rural, but what they do have is a cell phone. Since then, it has really been refined to be a powerful tool, a really easy to use tool for two-way messaging, for automated conversations, for surveys. And we found that the nonprofit community is really one of our best clients, and really where we kind of sit most of our marketing. But we found traction in just individual and bulk messaging, in these conversations, what probably many of you are interested in, volunteer and field staff management. And we're also finding that events and conferences are really interesting as well, doing 1-day or 2-day events and supporting all the text messaging needs there. So what are we really proud of? Why do we think that Mowgli is the best of the best? First one is it's easy to use, and I'm going to show that to you. It was designed for usability and for ease of use. It's easy to report on. All of the incoming and outgoing messages are in one spot and in one related list. And it's very transparent pricing, full-featured, unlimited users, unlimited contacts. We want all of our Mowgli clients, whether they're the smallest package or the largest, most customized package, to have all of the features available. We can get a message to anywhere in the world with cellular coverage. And then what we're really proud of here, and what I really want to show you guys today, is automated conversations, or what some people call bot functionality. Mowgli is intelligent. It knows how to respond when a user has a question or a comment. And lastly, we are developed and supported right here in the US in Boulder, Colorado. All right, so that's my very quick spiel. And now let me show you what Mowgli looks like. So this is my contact record, or my test contact record inside of Salesforce. And we can do some very simple things. So, you know, if your use case is, I just want to send messages, that's all I want to do. I want to send messages to one person or thousands of people, then Mowgli is really good at that. If I want to send and receive messages, then Mowgli is really good at that. So let me show you what that looks like. We'll click on this Send SMS button, and it brings up this Visualforce page. And from this Visualforce page, I can add specific leads if I want to. I can add them in bulk. I can add contacts, one or many at a time, or I can add a campaign. And so I'm going to show you a campaign. And this is just a test campaign. You might recognize these names from that first slide. So this is our leadership team, and this is all of their numbers. And it automatically populates either just the contact information, the number, mine, because we're on my contact record, or the entire campaign. And the campaign could be 1 to thousands of records or phone numbers to send to. And if you want, you don't even have to have a contact or a lead record for these people. If you just want to send a message and all you have is the phone number, then you can copy and paste that phone number into this field. Next is the message section. So if I want to just send a message that says, this is a test, then I can do that. Or I can use a template. I'm going to show you what it looks like to use a template. So these are all predefined templates that have been set up, and these are like typical initiation of a message. So it'll be the kind of the first question, the first thing that I'm blasting out, or it might be the only thing that I'm blasting out. And so I'm going to use this one right here, volunteer registration. So with volunteer registration, it says hi, first name. So it's going to look into the contact record here for Stephen and me and Serena, and it's going to add my name there. Mowgli charity events volunteer registration is open, so head over to moglysms.com to sign up today. So this would be that kind of use case where you're just blasting out a message. It's outreach. I want to get out to my constituents and let them know that, that there's an action that they can take today. And if I want to schedule this in advance, then I can do that by entering the date and time that I want to send it here. Or if I just want to leave this blank, then it will send it immediately. So I'm going to leave it blank so I can show you what that looks like. So I'll go ahead and send, and now it's sent to those 3 people. And if you look over in the virtualized phone, which is running a little bit slow here. Now my message has come in and it says, hi Rob, Mowgli charity events, volunteer registration is open, etc. So you can see that it grabbed my name. And I'm just going to respond and say, thank you. Okay, so now what Mowgli is doing, if we look at the SMS tab, this is all of the incoming and outgoing messages for my entire organization. So you can see all of the different phone numbers. This is anyone that has sent a message, and you can see who created it over here on the right. Anyone that's sent a message and any message that has been received, you can see the incoming and outgoing direction. And what Mowgli is doing in the background now, you can see that there's this one message that I just sent in, the thank you message, that doesn't have a contact associated with it. And that's because Mowgli is thinking right now. It's saying, okay, I know that there's a conversation going on here. I know that this 303-709 number, my number, is associated with a contact. So I'm going to find that contact, and I'm going to run a batch process every 1 to 10 minutes. It depends on how you have it set up, but as frequent as one minute. And it will then keep looking for my contact information, and now you can see it has. So it grabbed my contact information, and it is now associated this conversation in this SMS related list here with Rob Tester. So here are all of the incoming and outgoing messages just for me. And then if in that same view, if we have a situation where Mowgli cannot figure out who this person is, maybe and there was an incoming number, we don't have a contact or a lead for that incoming number, it's going to create an anonymous lead. You can see some of those here that are associated specifically with that number and continue to keep that conversation going until we can figure out who that person is or run an automation to automatically update their contact information. Okay, so this is the interactive portion of the show here. I would love it if you guys could help me by texting in HandsOn to the number that you see on the screen. And what this is going to do, if you put yourself in the mindset of someone who has just volunteered for your organization, or in this case, a Mowgli charity event, put yourself in the mindset of that person, and this is going to run a quick survey. And based on your responses to that survey, it is going to send you an appropriate response to your answer. And you can see that, and I'll do this alongside you, but again, I'd love your support here in helping with this demo. But go ahead and type in HandsOn and send that out. So I've now got my response, and I can either send out this survey or I can have it come incoming by what you all are doing, texting in HandsOn. So it says, thanks for volunteering at the charity event. We hope you had a great experience. Would you be willing to take a quick survey, a 4-question survey? And I'm going to say yes, but if I said no, then it would take me down a different path. So what did you like most about volunteering? I'm going to say, the great people. And what did you like least? We'll say, parking was an issue. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that you would recommend volunteering? So we can do an NPS score here, and I'm going to say, I had a pretty great experience. Let's go with a 9. And then lastly, it says here, wow, you must have had a great experience. So if I responded with a 1 or a 2 or a 5, it would have responded with something else and maybe asked me for some additional feedback. In this case, would you ever volunteer with Mowgli charity events again? I'm going to say no, just so I can show you on demo purposes here what happens if I was to respond with sort of a negative response. And now it says, sorry, we didn't meet your expectations. Thanks for completing the survey, and follow up with any additional information to this email address. So that now took us through a series of steps, a series of answers, a series of different potential pathways had we selected other answers. And now the beauty of this is, if we go back into Salesforce, and I'm just going to refresh here, and I see a bunch of anonymous leads, and I see Melissa in there, who we already know her phone number, so thank you for playing along, Melissa. But I see some anonymous leads here. I see that you guys are interacting, which is great, thank you. And we can also see some of these other experiences that have come through. The beauty of this is now I go back and I look at this contact record. So now that you've completed one of these forms, and I have completed one of these forms, we now have this single message thread that says, for this question, here is my answer. And for this question, here is my answer. And by doing that, we can now really easily report on these things. And that's really the huge value in being able to do this. If we just had an incoming list and an outgoing list, we wouldn't know who is responding to what question. But here, since these are put together with a question response all in a single record, we can now see that that survey was completed, as you can see here in status, and we know all of the specific answers to each of the questions. So if I just open up Lightning, and we do work in both Lightning and in Classic, but Lightning is a little bit prettier for dashboard purposes. Let me just bring up the dashboard of this particular demo so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to refresh, so we should have a few more of you. Oh, great! Had a great response. Thank you. So we now know that there was 37 forms that were initiated, and of that, 34 of them were completed. So I went down an appropriate path and I completed all the way to the end of that. So that shows you that, at least for this demo purposes, that engagement is really good with these surveys. 34 out of 37 people went all the way down to the end of the survey. And then it's very simple to see what people would likely recommend, or each of their answers. So we're seeing that the mode here is a score of 8 for likely to recommend, but we can see all of the different values that people have given, even an 11 in here. And what Mowgli should have done for that person that put in an 11 was wrapped you back around and said, please respond with a number between 1 and 10. And then likely to volunteer again, we have all of these different answers. The nice thing, and this is a really interesting one, the yes exclamation point. One of the really cool things about Mowgli is that we can program in expected answers so that if I don't respond exactly with yes, I can still take someone down the yes path because I put yes exclamation point as a possible answer. So that's why how Mowgli is really intelligent with these things. It can understand what someone is saying and respond with the appropriate direction and an appropriate path. And probably the most valuable feedback you can get is really open feedback like this. So what did you like most? And now we can start to look at the trends. What is it that people really like the most? Obviously, great organization and people, the food, facility. What didn't they like? Well, a lot of people said parking was bad. So, we need to work on parking for next year. And I know I'm out of time, so I really appreciate you guys.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Rob, for that presentation. Just a reminder to our attendees, we do have our next Connect University session this Thursday. We're going to be talking about the Salesforce Joined Reports program. Then next week, on Thursday, we have another Connect Exchange partner with Cirrus Insight, showing us how their flight paths can work to help with your marketing campaigns. We hope you really enjoyed today's presentation from Rob with Mowgli SMS. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the HandsOn Connect team. We're happy to connect you with Rob and address any questions you may have about how HandsOn Connect and Mowgli SMS work together. Thanks again for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you at the next Connect Exchange or Connect University session.